Hello, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. We have been working on the novice base here. We're just getting the bus going. Well, we haven't actually started putting anything on the bus yet. We've moved some things toward the bus, and I've kind of laid out a little bit here where I think they're going to go. I don't think we're actually ready to work on the main bus yet. I need to do one more major installation even before we do the smelters. I need to put in the full-size refinery here. So, currently we're carrying nothing, which is, just fine for running around and thinking about stuff. But I do want to start laying out the refinery. So, it's going to be in here. I'm going to start by putting down all of the coverage I could possibly want. Let's actually grow this out a bit like this. And we're going to ask that we please get all of this taken care of. Now I'm going to pause the recording while we do the site prep here. Oh, this is going fast. Oh, this is going really fast. Oh my, we have 6,000 logistic robots and 6,000 construction robots. Did I mess up somewhere? No, this is calculating 6.8 thousand robots based on 340. Okay. So now we see why I ran out of power a while back. Gosh. So glad we have nuclear power now. So we have provision over here for our crude oil. And I'm going to be wiping out a lot of these logistic areas as we start building our what direction do I want to grow this? Well, let's see. This is my major power through area. No, up here is. Okay. That's major power. I've got sulfuric acid coming here. I'm going to start my power plant, my oil refinery. Let's make this the northeast corner. I'll just have to remember that the cell line is in the middle of that. I just want to put it inside here a bit. Okay, so my thinking is to grow to the left, and I want to verify that we actually have enough space for it. Now, if you are running advanced oil, oh, wait a minute, we already have this. Let's grab bits from over here. In fact, I can grab this whole thing now that I think about it. Okay, so if we put this down like this, I'll be able to relocate things easily. Do I want to set this up to use beacons? If I want to set it for beacons, I have to move everything around to get beacon space. Because this is only 2 in here. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm just going to use the same layout exactly. I'm going to put these in. Okay, and I do want to move this out beyond that walkway. We're going to be moving a number of things past the walkway. Now the scale is going to change here. We're going to be running this out for 40. I'm thinking that my solid fuel production is going to be much, much more significant if this is our major plant that is providing for rocket fuel. Is it? No, I think I'm going to do the rocket fuel out of this one up here. So, if we are supplying anything made with heavy or light oil, we need to make sure petroleum is drained. Which means that if this is our supply of lubricant, it is possible that we won't be able to make lubricant if we have a heavy draw of lubricant and we're not drawing solid fuel. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of the solid fuel down off the end of it. Yes, the robots are going to be upset with me. So we're going to grab all of, all of this. So the solid fuel will go on the end of this instead of where it is. So we'll grab from here, from here down to here, including tiles. I'll move the whole thing down. And I'm going to push things back up to compact them later. Okay, I grabbed a little bit extra there, and by having the pipes go on top of that belt, that got rid of them. And now we can get rid of these. Okay. Now I think this is going to work. Let's make room here first. I'm going to move things out to the right, and then I'm going to forklift the whole thing here up by just enough to make this go on top of that. Okay. Plastic. Out here, out here. Coal comes in there. We need a supply of coal down here. We don't have coal on this side of the world, so coal is going to be a major import. Alternately, I could pump petroleum back to the main base and have petroleum made up here, but still, coal is a major import. Okay, so we're going to bring coal in via train. Lubricant. Let's see. If I do that, there's my lubricant. Exporting lubricant back to the main bus is a bit of a jog, but we can do it. Sulfuric acid, this is going to be the same thing. Like that. So we have left these undergrounds where I'm walking. That's okay. I can walk past these without any problem. Well, I can. Do I want to? I don't really want to. Yeah, let's move all of these out like there. And same thing up here. All of you guys get moved out, oops, to here. If I go one more, no. Okay, so now we pick up the whole thing. Oops, you can go away. Pick up the whole thing from here. And put it back down right on top of you so all of our connections are rebuilt. Whoops. I need to pick up everything including the stuff, so I can't use Control X, so I need to do this. There's pick up the tiles, create blueprint. And now we can pick up all of this. And now we put the blueprint back down with the brick. There we go. I reserve the right to rework the solid fuel completely. Also, I am beginning to lean towards doing the actual rocket fuel down here. Which doesn't sound like a bad idea now that I think of it. All of the power lines are going to be a little confused. So we are expanding this to a much, much larger build. I want to go out to 40 of these. So we're going to grab out through there. That's my repeatable unit. Snap to grid absolute. Go to map mode so I can do this easily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 40 of those. So back to my oil processing. Okay, cracking facility. I need 10 chemical plants turning 200 heavy oil per second into 150 light oil per second. So replicate you this way. And there's my repeatable unit. Nope, it is not. I almost forgot that. So I'm getting one primary rule of software debugging is that I should be testing this as we go. I do have power here. That'll get us power going in. So in order to test this, I need to give it oil And I need to give it water. Let's get that going. One thing I like doing here is I really prefer using the substations, but I can't. So instead, I'm going to set up a grid of these power poles. I'm going to see if I can fit it to my actual surely I have a space I can do this. I will do it out here. I want this to be a grid that's big enough to cover all of my pump jacks. I want to supply power to everyone, and I want to do it without leaving out any of my... Oh, come on, don't go... Okay, we're going to step forward until it is light again. There. So you need to find a place where this can go in without any conflicts. There we go. And that gives power to everybody. Now we need to get the oil out of here. The oil needs to come up to one of these guys, to this guy actually. Oh, we're going to need a fluid bus along here, aren't we? Well, goodness. And if I delete these guys now, I will probably remove coverage for my build. Yes, I will. So let's set up our fluid bus really super quick. I want my T's to start out here, so we're going to do petroleum, one further out like this. So you're going to be petroleum here, and light oil and heavy oil. I need to bring the power separately. You've got power from there. That will do it. Let's see, oil, I think I'm going to have my oil just come to right here. Like that. So we do not need oil down here. We will need water. It's going to be on this line here. And I'll need a water stitch kind of in the middle here somewhere, like that. So oil. So shall I, if I keep these separate by gathering all the oil to the right and bringing it around and to the top, that makes sense. Okay. Now I could just I want the oil there. I want to maximize the number of undergrounds I use so I can still walk around. But I'm not going to do it for that kind of stuff. or that kind of stuff. That's ridiculous. I'm beginning to think that having a straight line across the top might not be a bad idea. Yeah. Okay. So now... yeah, I'm just gonna drop these in. We'll worry about walking around later. Yeah, lazy man's oil. That should hook everybody up. And I'm going to take one last one over here. And that will provide power to my oil area. There's crude oil. Okay, we need water. I'm going to get the water down here, just because it's nice and close to logistics. Grab a pump from anywhere. How about here? No, that would bring it in under him. That's good enough. Is it okay to bring the water up here? No, not really. So the sulfuric acid is far to the right. I could bring it parallel to the sulfuric acid. That wouldn't be bad. Okay. Now the water comes out. Oh, that's convenient. I bring that over one, I can bring it out parallel to the oil. That was awkward. So I need to move this up just a little bit. There we go. That will bring water in here. That'll have water giving you guys. Let's make this work. Come on. You can do it, guys. Now we are running at X4 right now because our robots are having to come a long way with all this stuff. I didn't bring materials with me, so we are dependent upon slow robots. Okay. Big burst of action. And everybody is now paused, because everybody now sees that we have full petroleum. Thing I didn't do is I didn't put in our measurement system. How did I do that over here? Oh, that was That was convenient. I just did it like that. Okay. So bringing it, I brought it out to the right and up. And I brought it down to one of these power areas. What if I bring this guy up to here and over? There, that'll work. Okay. I'm going to take the power connections off of all these guys so we can run the ones that we want. Just the ones we want. Okay. Now the red signal is our inventory control signal. That has got to come out to here. And now we need our 3 thingies. That should be close enough. There we go. Let's actually move this over 2 and over 2. That gives us a nice straight shot. Yeah. So petroleum, light oil, and heavy oil, all lined up there, all placed on this line, so that now all of our conditional stuff can work. And we are powerless because we disconnected the power. I'm going to bring that one power line out to there. That's going to be powering this guy. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We should have been powered. Oh, right. Never mind. What I just did was completely unnecessary. I did not need to take off these power cables. I am so glad this doesn't use up an actual copper cable when I do it. Okay, so now you guys are lighting up. And just that quickly, we saturated one of our outputs. In this case, we got 25K petroleum, 20K light oil, and 11K heavy oil. That is the ratio we get. And 40 machines fills them up that quickly, especially when we're on ×4 speed, like we were. These guys will crack whenever the heavy oil exceeds 24K. And we do not currently have all of our inputs set up. So first off, water comes from here, and our heavy oil comes from here. Second off, we need a total of 10 chemical plants cracking heavy to light. So we're going to grab our repeatable unit, which just goes to here. Now, the repeatable unit is not going to include that red wire. So I really want to just place one down here and get it correctly set up. So you are power only. And the red wire comes all the way across like that. And now this is the actual repeatable unit. Snap to grid, absolute. Check this, we've got power, we've got the red line going across these. I'm gonna have to place red lines anyway, it doesn't matter. 6, 8, 10. Now we're not going to see any of these guys tripping off as long as we have these. So I am going to go up here and I'm going to force us to do some cracking by deleting all of the petroleum and light oil. We may have to do that a couple of times. Yeah, we're going to have to dump the petroleum a few times for this to work. So what I want to see is I want to see all of the light oil refining machines start to process. There we go. So they're working. Yay. Next step is light oil. I need 34 chemical plants doing this cracking. So 34, well, that's not divisible by 4, is it? It is divisible by 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from here out to here. I'm going to stamp you down to there. Whoops. Pipe to ground, pipe. There we go. I think I'm going to just run the red stuff manually all along. So now our repeatable unit is this. Snap to grid absolute. And that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 2, 4, 34. So that could crack all of the light oil produced by the refineries, plus all the light oil produced by the heavy oil to light oil cracking. Let's put the walkways in. This is mainly just to remind me that these areas need to be kept basically clear except for the primary power going across, which kind of keeps them from being a real easy walkway, but it is what it is. Okay, solid fuel usually would be the next thing I do, but I've kicked it down to the bottom because I think I'm going to have a much larger build area. I think I'm going to set up the solid fuel differently. Let's see, solid fuel from light oil, I'm talking about 51 chemical plants. So I'm going to want to do them in more than just that one row. So we will rework all of the solid fuel area. I'll leave those down as markers to show what we're doing, but it is what it is. Okay, plastic. 23 chemical plants. We need 24. This is 6. That's not really a repeatable unit, but I can replicate it out here and fix it. That makes 2,700 plastic per minute. This is not going to fit on one belt. It's going to fit on two belts. We've got two belts coming out here, but the way this is set up right now, it's only doing the top. So we're going to have to interrupt it in the middle and move the outer lane to the inner lane on these two belts. So we are up to 12 machines. We need 24, so we're going to double this. I will take this much, snap to grid absolute, put two more down. And then just right here, go back to X1. I'm going to put these guys down. Output priority left and output priority right. So that will move the plastic from this belt, all of it, to the inner lane of this plastic belt here, the south lane, and to the north lane of this one. So that should work. And out here, we should have two belts of this. Now, the output isn't actually two full belts. In actuality, we are producing transport belts, red, 1.6 red transport belts. A bit over a blue belt, actually. Now it's 24. 23 should produce exactly a blue belt. So we will have two nearly full red belts of plastic ready to go. And we're going to send that on up. And what we're going to do is we're going to arrange for as much plastic as red wants will go into here, and then we'll coalesce the rest of it onto a single lane of plastic on the bus. And here is our coal import. I'm going to draw that way out like that, so I keep getting back and looking at it and saying, what is that? Oh, that's coal. It's too bad I didn't have a coal field over on the eastern side. But if we bring this coal in somewhere, yeah, I think after we get this built up, I will just rail this coal all the way across, and we'll send it north on several belts of coal. We'll have one coal dumping into here. We'll get our plastic coming back up, meeting up with it and going north. We'll take a look at what our imports and exports are. Now the plastic, I do want to bring the plastic together at some point. We'll worry about that later. Next thingy. Oh, almost forgot. We need to route our inputs and test. We didn't test our light oil. So if I put stitches at the walkways, that should help out a lot. So anytime we have a walkway and we can put a stitch in and it's convenient, we'll do that. If it's not convenient, well, we're good enough. So petroleum is coming in on this lane. So this stitch is going to be inconvenient. We do there and there. And this does not stretch all the way out to here. So I am going to need to have an intermediate set. I'm going to bring it in above and below the plastic. So we'll just take the plastic out like that. It's somebody else's problem now. There's plastic. Kind of jammed in here sideways is the heavy oil into lubricant. I need 20 machines making heavy oil into lubricant. That's way more lubricant than we will ever need in this base. And I think I can just take these two and I can say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 20. That is 20. And none of this is at all difficult. Now, there's going to be extra power cables. I'm not going to correct it all now. I may come back in later and dink with them. I'll start with doing a power grid comb and then tidying up by hand. So this is going to be exported, and no doubt I will need pumps. And the pumps are going to need power. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be exporting petroleum to the main bus or not. I will also be exporting this sulfuric acid. Okay, so you need heavy oil. You need petroleum. Oh, that was close. And you need water. So we haven't tested plastic yet because we do not have a source of coal. Don't like that. I don't like that I am unable to test the plastic. But let's at least get the things we can test tested. Okay, so there we go. We look at our signals on the electric poles. I don't think our red signals are actually hooked up properly. Oh, there they are. But this guy isn't hooked up. Oh, right, because I added these down. I added these on later. So we now have a bunch of lubricant being provided. Now, sulfuric acid is going to require iron plates. Now, if I am going to be making batteries down here, okay, then I would need iron plates and copper. Batteries require sulfuric acid. The alternative is to pipe sulfuric acid back to the base and make the batteries there. I'm going to do that because we also need to take all this sulfuric acid, and this needs to be the new sulfuric acid supplier for the uranium ore, so we are not dependent upon the microbase oil area, which I obviously am not going to be making into my main petroleum area. I may duplicate this base over here later on, but for now, no. In fact, once we get everything onto here, eventually this oil can be picked up because I'll relay it. By the time we need a second base, I'll probably be using modules and beacons and all of that. And that means this line will go away and we'll have to worry about what do we want to do with this crude oil, if anything. 10K down here, 6.7K down here, we're good. Okay. So, next thing. Redesigning from scratch our solid fuel area. So, going for rocket fuel. We only want to crack petroleum to solid fuel if we're about to run out. So really, this is the same logic we had before. Let's put that in. Oh, wait a minute. No, I didn't go over the sulfur here. I kind of poked it together. Let me verify. We need 12 chemical plants making petroleum into sulfur. That's only half size. Okay, so I need to grab my repeatable unit, which is this much. Okay, and we have 1, 2, 3. That's 6 sulfur and 3 sulfuric acid. I need to go to 12. And 12 making sulfur and 4 making sulfuric acid. There's the 4 making sulfuric acid. The rest of this is just going to make sulfur. So let's grab this guy and this guy. I'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now each one of these sends out 2 sulfur per second and does not require iron. So it's these 4 I want to capture from. Move these over just enough so I can do this. And our sulfur is going to be 2 per second, 2, 4, 6, 8 per second. Our sulfur is going to be on just the one line. So we are going to, on the right-hand side, make this a deconstruction planner, which is my way of marking a splitter that says nothing's going to come out the right because we never have deconstruction planners on our belts. And if we ever do, we'll have a deconstruction planner hanging out there. If we get a second one, it will stall the whole thing. We'll come back and say, why did we have deconstruction planners on that belt? And that's going to get our half belt of sulfur, which I am going to, oh, wait a minute. Why am I going that fancy? I don't need to go that fancy. And I can even maintain my walkway if I do something kind of screwy. There's my sulfur output and my sulfuric acid output, just like that. And run the walkways out. And unfortunately, these guys ended up putting their power into the walkway. I'm not going to correct that. So the idea there is that we do need some sulfur for some things. Off the top of my head, I know that we need sulfur directly when we're making blue science. And at the scales we're talking about, we need like 2/10 of a machine of sulfur for that. We may need sulfur for other things. I don't remember. We don't have sulfuric acid because we do not have iron coming in yet. So we need an iron import. So it seems to me like we need a number of belts that are going from here, first of all, down to get coal in somewhere. Probably the coal will come in between the uranium and the oil here. So we need coal coming in, and then some belts going north here, picking up our exports from there, and just coming up and across. And we'll work that out as we bring things together. So export is sulfur, import is iron plate, import is coal, exports are plastic, 2 lines of plastic. And now we have solid fuel. And my intention is to build enough rocket fuel that I can use rocket fuel in my trains. So we are not going to be doing much with solid fuel. It could also turn out solid fuel to go to this. Yeah, pick up where this guy left off. So we would send back a mixed line of coal and salt. No, let's keep this guy going. So as long as we're using this set of turbines for power, we will continue to have this. And we will shut that down when we are absolutely 100% confident that we will never, ever, ever lose power to our nuclear plant. And if that sounds like it's a long way in the future, then we're on the same page. Okay, so we need to make solid fuel from petroleum gas. And I need a total of 22. I'm going to do 24. Oops, come on. I'm going to do them as a group of 3 there. And a group of 3 there. And I am going to do power. Actually, power just comes down the middle. Yeah, okay. These guys are all filtered to do solid fuel. Six, 12, 24. Okay, how much solid fuel am I making here? 22 chemical plants. It's going to be 22 per second. Oh, I am printing out the wrong thing on my thingy. Let's correct that. I printed the wrong number. That's 1,320 solid fuel per minute. If we do 22 of them. 320/24. So if all 24 are working, that's going to be 1,440. That still fits on a red belt. We're good. Now, I would prefer to make the light oil into solid fuel over cracking it into heavy fuel, to heavy oil, cracking it into petroleum and making solid fuel from petroleum. Okay, so our thingy-me goes there, and the power comes out to here, and I am going to just run the power. Oh, almost forgot. I forgot how I was doing my main power here. Cut you guys and then set up the power along the power poles. And the red signal across the power poles. And the red signal goes down all this stuff. Okay, and you are providing red signal to him. And then you provide red signal to the front guys. Conditions. When do we want to do this? We only want to do this if we are about to absolutely fill our petroleum gas areas. So if petroleum is greater than or equal to 24,000. Like that. And power like that. So we're currently disabled because we don't have enough petroleum gas to let this go. Which shouldn't be happening because we should be cracking now, and it should be filling this up. We are not cracking light to petroleum right now. We've turned all of our heavy oil into lubricant. Why are we not cracking light oil? Your condition is set. Oh, that is heavy to light. Okay. This is light to petroleum. We are enabling. We don't have our inputs. Oh no. This is why you test. There. Accelerate a bit so the robots can do their jobs. Come on, robots. I really should have just brought a whole bunch of stuff with me. Okay, so the rest of these are not set up right. Okay, so you now have your conditions set. So we are cracking, and petroleum is now full. So you guys are going to end up stopping your cracking when you can't produce any more petroleum gas. That's good. These guys are able to disable in plastic bar. Oh. Well, that kind of sucks. I don't want to do that. I want these to always run on these guys. Oh, I had just mistyped. This guy is supposed to run when petroleum gas is greater than or equal to 1,000. So I had the condition in to say, yes, I have confirmed that I've thought about the condition. I had just put the wrong thing in over there. Okay, so you guys are all going to try to run. And my red wires are just wrong. There. You are connected to power and only power. Red wires are connecting you and you and you. So now if I am holding red wire and I mouse over him, all of the red wires light up everywhere that we're connected to. Plastic is now complaining, I have no coal. Otherwise I would be making it. Lubricant. Again, heavy oil greater than 1K. So I've confirmed that we have a condition and it's set. Let's see, sulfur. We have a wire coming in. When do we want to make sulfur? We want to make sulfur whenever petroleum gas has 1,000. Just like that. And this obviously needs to connect across like that. So everybody now needs to be connected. Are we connected all the way through? I think we are connected all the way through. Yes, we are. These chemical plants don't really have a connection condition. I'm not going to worry about it. They'll just run. So if they have sulfur and they have iron and they have water, they're going to try to produce more acid. That's okay. Now you, if we have petroleum gas greater than 24K, then it's going to try to send its output, and currently nothing's happening because we haven't put this in yet. Let's get our stitches in for water. Heavy and light oil. For petroleum, light oil, heavy oil, and water. Anywhere that it will fit. Okay, now petroleum goes on these two. And I'm going to put more stitches out here. So let's move them like that. Okay, so there is our solid fuel derived from petroleum, and it would be really rather grand if that never, ever, ever backed up. Because if that backs up, that's likely going to immediately back up the entire oil refinery. Next one. See, that's solid fuel. Let me make sure that's marked off. Solid fuel from petroleum, 22 chemical plants, check. Solid fuel from light oil. We are going to be making 3,000 potentially solid fuel. So I'm thinking we're going to be doing 2 lines like this. It wants 52 chemical plants, which means twice 16, let's see, twice 26, or 4 lines of 13, okay? So I'm going to grab the first line up here. Just like that. And I'm going to reprogram you guys. So we are going to be doing this based on light oil greater than or equal to 12,000. Okay, so there will be things we do when light oil gets lower than that. We will be making rocket fuel from lower amounts of light oil if we have solid fuel available from petroleum. So we're going to set that at 12K. And your recipe is solid fuel from light oil. Now that's only 12. We need 13. I am going to go a little bit extra. We're going to go with an extra set of 3. Just like that. And you're going to wipe out those 2. That's fine. And let's make sure everybody is connected up with the red. We'll be able to verify that better once this is done. That RoboPort is still marked as please delete me. There we go. So there's one side. We need 4 strips like this. So I'm going to grab this whole thing, not including the power pole, flip it vertically, and the 2 of you are going to be producing that belt. Now we're going to grab all of you, including the power pole, and that produces the second belt. Okay. We are not going to have room in here for the railroad, are we? I think, though, I'm going to be sneaking some things out and doing my actual build of... Yeah. I don't know whether I'm going to have enough room here to do the rocket fuel build. But we'll see. Okay. So, you are light oil. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys. Actually, let's lane balance them so that any imbalance in my requesting, okay, will be balanced out before it goes back to the machines. This shouldn't be necessary. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Hey, why did we get nothing from the bottom machines? Oh, I guess these top machines drew down the petroleum before they got a chance to work. Okay, well, that's fine. This is going to be awfully difficult to do if I don't have space. So let's do these with the simpler balancing mechanism. What I want to do is I want to set up priority merging. So we're going to come in from here. This guy's going to have priority on the left. Input priority left. Okay, so we'll prioritize taking from there. This will also prioritize taking from there. Oh wait, no it won't. So this is a mixed priority line. No, I think I've got a better way of doing this. This is our priority line. We'll merge it into the other two the easy way. Okay, so these two are now balanced. I want to this is total overkill. Output priority is going to be that lane. This may be too many of them. This is priority to the right and block. The basic idea is we're going to be crunching everything out to this side. I think this first guy, though, I'm going to have no priority, so he will take from these two evenly. But this does need to be prioritized. We do need to crunch to the right here, prioritize that input into there, crunch it to the right again, prioritize the input in from there, and block. And there's our 2 belts of solid fuel, with priority from this guy. So in theory, that is 3,060 from the light oil. And let's see. $1,320. So that is a total of 2.4 belts. Oh, no. I, in theory, could have 3 full belts of this stuff. Not 3 full belts, but 3 belts. Hold on. Did I do that wrong? 30 per second times 60 is 1,800. 3060 from the one side. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, 3060 from the one side plus 1320 from the other side. So we really do need to have all of that. Okay. Well, that's done. Now we need 146 Mark II assemblers making rocket fuel all times. Gosh, 146. Holy. That's 10 lines of about 15. Do lines of 32, it's 4.5 of them. Okay, I am going to step out of this area to make the rocket fuel. We're going to be exporting light oil and solid fuel over to here for the rocket fuel build. Wow. This is going to be a bigger build than I expected. It's the build that I wanted. Okay, so if you are making rocket fuel, you have light oil coming in, and you have solid fuel coming in at 0.5 per second, and rocket fuel going out at 0.05 per second. So if I do that and this, send the rocket fuel north, I said that I have 3 lines of solid fuel coming in, right? So if I make 146 divided by 3, that is 48.666. Well, I divide it by 6 because each one of those has 2 machines on the side. 24 and a third. So, yeah, if I do it in groups of 3, okay. Let's get these moved around so I do them in groups of 3, like this. I need 1 power pole here, 1 power pole here, because otherwise these guys don't get powered. Okay, and that means that my light oil is coming in here and here. Okay. I'm still thinking of bringing the coal in down here, which is why I want to move this up here a ways. So if I do 3 of these side by side, like that, so that is 18. I need 9 repetitions of this. Actually, 8.1, but we're going to do 9. Snap to grid absolute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That gives us 162 machines making all of this stuff. I'm not sure whether I've ever built a rocket fuel array quite this big or not. Usually by the time I'm building the rocket fuel arrays for size, I've got Mark III assemblers, I've got modules, I've got beacons. So this is built to be upgraded with modules and upgraded to machine 3s. When I get beacons, I will tear it up and lay it out again. But when I get beacons, this whole thing is going to get redesigned. If I want to use beacons in my petroleum. Okay, let's get it all built. Okay, rate calculator. So in terms of red transport belts, we have 2.7 belts of solid fuel coming in, which is more than we're producing. And we're producing 0.27 belts of rocket fuel. Rocket fuel is really, really, really dense. In terms of units per minute, we require 4,860 light oil per minute. That's not per second, that's per minute. So light oil per second is only 81 per second. Now a pump can do 1,200. So this doesn't actually use up very much light oil to make rocket fuel. It uses up all of our solid fuel though. So this is really turning solid fuel into rocket fuel using a little teeny bit of light oil. Okay, so down at the base, I need to get all of our light oil going together. Did that come across? Yes, it did. I think it sounded like it jittered there for a second, but that was because it wasn't lined up. And we can really take our light oil from anywhere here. I think what I'm going to just do for paranoia, there. And the solid fuel, oh, and we need to balance these out. Now that we've prioritized them, we can balance it here so that the three arrays get the same amount of fuel. This feedback is what makes this work for 3 to 3. So each of these 4 output lines has a quarter of each of these lines plus him. Okay, so this feedback makes it so that we get 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and then this will be 1/3 of the total coming in that gets routed back. This is going to get reorganized as we work out what we're doing over here with our sending stuff up to the main bus and getting stuff back. We're not going to change it for now because right now this is taking from the microbase. Okay, power. Come from there, and that will connect up. Really just need to carry stuff. I keep saying that. The way I did this, I did not do the right thing when I mapped that across. Okay, so filters. These guys are filtering to only produce our rocket fuel. These are our ingredient, which is solid fuel, like that. I'm going to grab this much, and that is a repeatable, alignable unit. Go to here, and I'm going to use Control-Shift when placing this to turn and filter all of the inserters properly. What? It's not important to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, just for symmetry. I am going to so each one of these belts might or might not be balanced. Let's do a proper balancer. You are, I see, I can actually, this also balances this way. Or, that also balances. And that has the benefit that I can come across like that. So my lane balancers can go right directly into this guy. And what I want to do is balance it all the way out. Ah. Oh, what I really want is a 3-to-1 balancer, don't I? And down to one lane. Hold on. I know how to do this. I do not know whether this is going to work or not. I have no idea whether this is going to draw or not, but in theory, take these three and him, we balance it down to 2. Each one of these gets evenly drawn from all of these guys. Some of it gets looped back. I am pretty sure that this gives me a single lane of output that is evenly drawn from all 6 input lanes. And since they were doing that, oh no, wait a minute. It does 3-to-1 and then it does this. Okay, so we still need those balancers. Well, I still want them. So, Alt-X the whole thing. And this is telling us we should be getting, well, 8.1 output per second, which fits on one side of even a yellow belt. No, it doesn't. It doesn't quite fit on one side of a yellow belt, but it does fit on one side of a red belt. There's that. So, idea. We already have this line coming north-south here. What if we make this area in here our feeder that goes up to the main bus, since it's right here at the base of the bus? And that means that for iron, I just extend this up to the main bus when it comes time to do that. When we get stuff on the main bus, I can bring the iron down and merge it. When this guy goes away, I take away the merge, and we're still delivering. That works. Which means that our inputs and outputs need to come from the left, which means we are, at this time, saying that this is not going to double in size. I like it. I'm going to do it. Okay. But we now have rocket fuel because we didn't need any coal or any iron for rocket fuel. I'm going to go grab the iron. It's coming in here. We're going to come in from the left. And the sulfur is going to go out to the left as well. There's the sulfur. And here's the iron coming in. Boom. There's our iron. Plastic. Reversing the flow of the plastic beam. Oh, we need to do some special stuff here, don't we? Output priority right, output priority left. That. And the coal is going to be coming from the left. Just like that. These can get simplified because we aren't bringing a bunch of belts through. Yay! As long as I'm bringing stuff out to the left, let's do the same thing with the solid fuel. Here's our priority solid fuel. Our less priority solid fuel. You know what? We may have an easier way to do this. Input priority right, output priority right with a deconstruction planner. So what are the dangers? Of doing it like this, and do I want to prioritize things differently? And do I want to lane balance these here? I think I want to lane balance these right here. So, I think what I want to do here is split this evenly between these. Actually, I'm going to merge these first. I'm going to merge them first. Like that. So these two are going to be balanced. I am going to want to add the guy from above as a priority insert onto these. I space it out by one more. input priority right, output priority right with filter. Okay, so you guys are balanced on these two lanes. Both of them say take half from the guys above. I'm just going to do this. So, like that. And then down here, we're going to put in our 3 to 3 work. And there's our 3 lanes. Okay, we've gone way long on this one. I figured this is going to be more complicated, since I did decide at the last minute to put my rocket fuel down here. Okay, everything has stopped. Light fuel, petroleum. This guy is not needed down there. This guy is not needed beyond here. Currently, our situation is we are full of petroleum. Oh, no, we are not. We're full of heavy oil. We should be cracking heavy to light. You are not sending your output because I forgot to hook up your output. There we go. How did I not see that before? I guess I must have hooked it up and then unhooked it at some point. Oh no, I verified that they lit up. I didn't verify that they actually produced a lot of output. Okay, insufficient testing. Okay, so now you are running. And you should be just barely outstripping or receiving from the above, unless it's exact. I don't think it's exact. But these guys do seem to be able to continue. I am going to just put in some more of you guys just out of sheer paranoia. Come on, robots. There we go. Okay, now we should see the heavy oil numbers start to dip a little bit. Well, now and then it is dipping a little bit. Okay. Is there anything else that should be... It Let's see, light oil's at 23K, so it doesn't need to be cracked. Petroleum's at 24K, so he's probably not making solid fuel from petrol. Oh, he is. Okay, we're just enough that we are. Okay. And you do not have signal. There. And these guys do not have signal. How is that possible? Oh, because I have power poles north and south here. Okay. Not something I normally do. And same problem here. Okay, so this is filling up. Lane balanced, lane balanced. Fill these two. This guy comes in, gives us more stuff. I actually want to prioritize this to the right. Let's see, if we do that, what that's going to do is it's going to push back on this guy. So we need to output priority left on this one. No. You know, I don't think this is going to do what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to set up so that if we are only taking a little bit from these guys, all of it comes from him. I think the way you do that is you start out with 3 lines going, and then you priority merge them into each of the 3. Let's rethink this. Okay. So basically, for this, I want to priority merge input from the left, output to the right. We'll just do that like that. And then we'll come out over here. I'm still not entirely confident, but I am fairly certain now that whatever comes out here is going to be taken balanced from these 3, which are going to be prioritized with this absolutely prioritizing in over these guys. But we will never be saying back up these guys if this guy is full, because we always have 2 outputs. Now, to test this, I'm going to go up here where we are producing our half belt of this. Okay, and I'm going to put in some fancy boxes here. I'm going to capture rocket fuel into the logistic network. I'm going to allow 7 boxes. Each one of these boxes has a limited amount that it can carry. But we are going to 80. Oh, good Lord. We are going to have a problem with this, aren't we? Only 80 per box. That's the other problem with the rocket fuel the way it is that if I want to clear all of these belts into boxes, so we can get a actual production rate, okay. So we are consuming them at half red belt rate. It looks like it is draining. And it looks like these are going to be a problem. Come on, give me more capacity. Okay. Rocket fuel over the last 10 minutes. How are you doing? You're running about 400 or 500 per minute. According to my planner, I should be running 438 per minute. Which is going to be 4,380 over the course of a 10-minute run, which may or may not fit in my boxes. I'm going to hope we get the number here. I want to see the whole thing full. I want to see what it calculates the average as. Turn it. Okay. So I am going to have my robots carry all of those back to the main base. Where no doubt they will come in handy later. Downside is, here at the main base, I just filled up a whole bunch of yellow. I'm going to make a whole new area out here, which is just logistic filtered for for rocket fuel. I'll pick up the ones that we don't want our rocket fuel in. There. So how much ever rocket fuel we ended up with, those will be available later on when we start having requesters. But 400 and some odd rocket fuel per minute is, well, it matches the rocket fuel scale of the largest base I've built to date in space age. I'll put it that way. Now, I did say that this is going to be a substantial fraction of 3 red belts, so 2 red belts plus so if I were to back one of these up, notice that our priority belt is still moving. Not well, though. The other belts are not moving at all. There. Okay, back to normal. I'm going to call that a recording. It's been 2 hours. I will figure out what to do next, which is probably going to have something to do with bringing coal in. In fact, I think so. I think I'm going to swing right into that recording now that I think of it. I will see you momentarily.